bringing coaching to tennis is a great thing for our sport in many aspects. First of all, it exists since years and years and years on the immense majority of the course and all year long, and everyone who's working in the professional tennis world knows it, even though some people deny it. I always made the choice to be transparent. Not that I'm saying that I'm doing it a lot. I'm not doing it a lot. I did it a few times. One was in this US Open final, and that's why it was so shocking. But most of the coaches do it at the immense majority of the matches every year and all year long. So as it exists and as it is impossible to control, because it's impossible to control, simply because, you know, there are, I don't know how many nationalities, and the chair umpires don't understand the languages. So when a guy speaks in Croatian and or in, I don't know, Indian or whatever, and says encouragement or coaching, it's impossible to know the difference. That's one point. Second point, if you think about it, it's very easy to have someone in the crowd that you are paying, that you're sending information, who speaks to the players, and is not in the coaching box, so there will never be a fine for that. So it's impossible to control. So let's make it legal instead of saying it's forbidden, but letting everybody do it. In a way, it's like saying that you have to cross in the pedestrian pathway, but whenever you don't, we don't say anything, and it's like this every day, all year long, for years, and so nobody does. So if you make a rule, it's to make it respected. If you can't make it respected, let's not make it a rule. So that's the first reason. But that's not the most important reason. I think the most important reasons are, first of all, respect for the coaches. And it's my job. I love my job. I think it's one of the most exciting and incredible job in the world, because we help people achieve their goals and their dreams. The second reason is, and the most important, is because I believe that the job of coach has to be respected. In all the other sports, it's extremely respected. It's extremely showed as something very positive, and I think it is something extremely positive. And I believe that coaches in the world of tennis deserve to be respected. When you tell a coach during a match, you can't do your job, you have to disappear, you have to be out of the court, and we don't want to hear you, and we don't want to see you make any movement, it's not very respectful. That's our job. Our job is to help athletes perform before the competition, during the competition, and after the competition, have these discussions that will lead to progresses. And tennis is the only sport when we cannot work during the competition. And more than that, we are told to disappear. Actually, I don't know why we don't even stay at home watching on TV, because we're not supposed to make any movement. So I don't think it's respectful for our job. And for all those coaches that fight hard all year long for their players in the tennis world, I think it's a great message to be sent that they're able to do their job also during the matches, and also show what they do, show how good they are, show their emotions, show their passion, show their knowledge. I think it's to be able to showcase that. It's also giving them a space to exist in this world, and I think they all deserve it. Now, tennis is also a show, and we are in 2022. We're not in 1970 anymore. The world has changed, and I think tennis needs also to bring new fans on board and get more and more traction, and that's a goal. And I think that's the goal of the ATP, that's the goal of the WTA, because we all know that it's a necessity. Coaching will participate into that, coaching during the matches. Because when you hear the coaches during the matches, first of all, it can be powerful, inspirational. It helps understanding better what's happening between a player and a coach. It helps understanding better the strategies, the technical, the tactical, the mental side of it. It makes the players more human, because you hear interactions, not only guys who hit a tennis ball. So I think it participates incredibly well into the global show of tennis, and will bring a lot of extra interest into our sport. For all those reasons, I think it's a very good thing to bring coaching into the matches. Regarding the survey, a lot of people have doubted the fact that there has been a survey, but it's normal. They're not into the email list of the ATP. So for them, for those who have doubted, and I exclude of course the coaches and the members of the ATP and the players, because they have received this email. But for all those who have not received that email, the ATP has taken the time to send an email to all of the people that are involved in tennis in the world, the players of the ATP, the coaches, the tournament directors and all the people involved in general, and have asked them to answer many questions to know if they were in favor or not of coaching during the matches and in which form. And we have, not all of them apparently, but most of us have answered that survey. And the result of that survey I have given on a tweet explaining that the immense majority of all those people said that they were in favor of coaching during the matches. I'm very happy that the ATP have taken the decision to authorize off-court coaching as a test until the end of this season. The off-court coaching is a halfway solution, but sometimes to get to the final point, you have to go through stages. And I'm not gonna hit at the ATP because they haven't taken the full coaching decision. It's big for tennis. As many people will say it all the time, it's the only sport that doesn't allow coaching during the matches. A lot of people think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing for the reasons that I explained, but I think also that there are stages. It allows the coach to talk to his player between the points, only when the player is on his side. It allows the coach to make motions to his player when he's on the other side of the court, and to speak to him when he's on his side of the court. The player is not allowed to answer, so it's a monologue, it's not a discussion. And of course, it's limited because there is the distance, because the coach is physically in the stands where the player is on the court, and he cannot come to see him between every point. It's a step, it's a good step, I think. It will show what works, what doesn't work, but of course, it's very different from what happens in Davis Cup, where the coach is on the bench and talking to the player, and the player responding to the coach at every changeover. For me, the end of the road is the same as what happens in Davis Cup, is to have the coach on the bench, part of the match, part of the show, and being able to exchange with this player at every changeover, because this would be the ultimate tool for coaching. The coaches would be really in a position to do a great job, first. Second, maybe there will be moments where they won't talk because it's not necessary, but there will be also moments where it will be very necessary. So they kind of choose their moments. There will be a lot of dialogues, which is very interesting also for the fans, because they will see what kind of discussions they can have. Also, there will be much more emotion, because when people can share, there is much more emotion, much more strategy, much more mental. So for me, that's the ideal situation. But I know this will take a lot of more time. If you enjoyed my video and want to stay on top of what's happening in the tennis world, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you guys very soon.